you when the time is right based on your area of the country. Jasmine. Okay, I have a deep love affair with jasmine. I had, side of my yard, I had jasmine just kind of like intertwined on a fence for years, and just walking down, it was like, there's nothing more, it's romantic.
Romantic is what I was gonna say.
I love it. It's just, it just fills you. And the white flower, look at this. It's so beautiful. This has been very popular. Just mentioning it was available, coming up, and check it out. It's at a hot deal price today, $22.95, and this is a full jasmine. Now let's talk about the Arabian portion.
Right. So that it is just as exotic as it sounds, and you're right. I mean, Callie, this is why they make high-end perfumes and lotions and things with jasmine, because it is one of the most fragrant flowers on the planet. And the reason this one is different than most of the jasmines you see is because it's not the Confederate jasmine. Now that Confederate jasmine, it kind of goes crazy, right? I mean, it can take over, it can go on buildings.
You are right.
It can get a little unruly. This one is a bit more manageable. It does have these nice tendrils on them, which you can easily wrap around if you have a trellis, right? But they're just fine in containers. What'll happen is these tendrils will start to drip over the side, right?
Romantic.
It's kind of like that we call them the thriller, the filler, and the spiller. This would be the spiller here. And it's just a great problem solver because it can be used on a trellis. It can be used as a ground cover. So if you have some areas and you're like, I'm just so sick of the same ground covers, you know, I'm tired of replanting annuals every year. All I have in here are petunias. I want something special. You can buy this and it will fill in. You're actually getting a 1-gallon container. And
it's huge.
It is so huge. And this will go from this to this in its first year, especially, again, if you are in the South. It's a nice, fast grower. It wants to produce for you. Of course, I always love using our leaf and petal fertilizer. But this is a premium plant, and it's not a throwaway. Now, it does not like to be frozen. So what you can do is, you know, put it in a container, if you so choose, and then before you get that first frost, bring it right inside the house. It will continue to bloom as a house plant. So you can enjoy it inside the house, that beautiful fragrance right inside the house. And then when spring rolls around again, you just take it back outside and enjoy it outside. So this is really a multifaceted kind of premium plant. And once again, very low maintenance. You don't have to do anything to it. Pollinators love it. And if you look at the value on something like this, right? I mean, trying to get an Arabian jasmine in the first place, this is not really what they sell at nurseries. But what Leaf and Petal wants to do, we just know that at this point in our lives, especially if you're a gardener, I've seen it, I've been there, I've done that. Everybody on the block has it. I want something that's original. I want something that's easy, right? I don't want something that's so weird and difficult to take care of, but you still want something that is special and unique. That's what you have in this Arabian jasmine.
I have to tell you, this is an absolute, if you have not experienced your own jasmine, give yourself a treat. Try this. They are so magnificently beautiful. The smell is intoxicating. It is so good. I do want to let you know this, though. I think there's 3,000 or so of these have been spoken for today already. This is it, our final airing, last chance to get it. And this is a hot deal price. Like, this is a full gallon container. And it is one of the most beautiful things, I think, whether it's in a small, would you recommend a small pot like this? I mean, I would.
Absolutely fine, yeah.
Especially based on what you said, how it's not the viney, winding one.
You know, it can climb, but it just doesn't, it's not like the Confederate jasmine where
it just takes over everything.
Where it takes over everything,
It ate my fence eventually.
I'm telling you, I have mine on a pergola, and it's like, it's such a gift because when it's in bloom, it's like the whole thing is gonna fall over, which I love. And you can trim it back. This one, rather than having those little suckers, right, those tendrils that are reaching out and grabbing, these tendrils can grow right up a trellis if you want, but you have to be the one to wrap it around, which is perfectly fine because then you are in control. You can even trim them off to keep it more in a shrub space. But I always say The bigger the container you put it in, the bigger the plant can grow. Because usually it's limited by what it's in. So like, for example, if you feel this one, Callie, if you feel around in there, it's wanting very quickly to be moved into something bigger. It wants to grow. These are healthy plants that are shipped right to you, fresh from our nurseries, okay? I mean, we're talking fresh to your door with that same map and on that same timeline that we've been talking about everything. We know you're not planting anything right now if you are up there in Michigan or in, you know,
North Dakota, my home state.
That's the one right there. Yeah, you'd be waiting until the beginning of May. But that's what you want.
That's
because
when you'll
what
get
are you
the
gonna
product.
do? Yeah, what
it's
are
not
you
going to be
do?
sitting there waiting for you to for the weather to get better.
Exactly.
You will get a healthy species delivered when the time is right for your area. And I think that's just a really brilliant concept. And I'm so excited to hear that so many people are trying new things today. Like this jasmine is insanely popular, and mass majority of you are getting two. At least two.
Should. Yeah.
I mean, it's an incredible buy for a big plant that's coming ready to become this magnificence, but having two is better. I mean, there are times I think, you know, less is more, but not when it comes to flowers.
And not when it comes to something that smells so good like
Agreed.
this. I mean, if you put one on each side of your front door, you know, the entire summer, these are blooming all summer long. And then just remember, before it gets icy, icy cold, you're gonna wanna bring it inside and then treat it like a houseplant. In fact, you might get it home and say, I love this thing so much, I know how great it's gonna smell. You can keep it inside as a houseplant the whole time.
Perfect.
You never even have to put it outside. But I just like the idea of putting it in a bigger container so that when people come over, right, or they're walking by your house, they just get to enjoy that beautiful fragrance as well. And you made it happen. You made it happen.
And it doesn't just, you know, give you fragrance at night, like the nighttime
Oh, I
jasmine.
love those night blooming jasmines.
I do too.
Oh my God, they're so yummy. We need to have a whole hour, just you
jasmine.
and me, right?
I know.
Yeah,
Or
just
all the
you and
things.
me.
I know. I love working out in the gardens with you, and it's just a treat to have the same kind of energy. Glad you're doing it along with us. Don't forget about the fertilizer pods. We've got that great bench